Blessed to have Jimmy Burns, our in-house stand-up and headliner. All we ever hear is headliners. So, without further ado, Mr. Jimmy Burns.
We'll tell you the story. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry, those of you who have met me for the first time, I'm a marshmallow, and I love it. So that was one more time, please. Let's do it this way. Good morning. Good morning. All righty. For those of you who are, a reminder for those of us who've been here this month, and for those of us who are new, hello, welcome, why don't you come back. This month we've been focusing on our reading, which was the law of attraction. And everybody's had their own spins on it. We have our different speakers. Reverend Nicole, a few weeks ago, reminded us to please make sure when you're looking for your attraction that you're looking for the things that you want. You're not taking on other people's desires and needs. Is it not? I thought I didn't sound good. Hello again! Law of attraction this month, and we have different speakers. As for Sunday, that's me. Hello, I'm back. Reverend Nicole, the first Sunday, reminded us that when we're practicing the law of attraction, to make sure we're attracting what we want, not taking on what others are projecting to us or sending to us, or what we think others want. David Matthew Brown reminded us to come from our heart. Not overthink, not have our mind change our path. Just come from our heart, feel that joy. Reverend Janine reminded us that there's nothing stronger than the Creator within us, and that we can't blame others and put it off on other people of what's happening in our life, or why we can't get things. We can't pass off excuses. Today, I'm going to focus on the foundation, or what rang home for me in talking about the law of attraction. And I think this is how our conversation. I'm going to start off with a little story that's happened to me in the last few weeks. For those of you who don't know, I drive a Corolla. It's a 2000 Corolla. I love my car. I've had it for 8 years. It's like one of the best relationships I've ever had. And many times I come out of the house, there's a little card on the windshield or on the driver's side, and you turn it around and it says, if you ever want to sell your car, call this number. And I always, my little ego, in that way, because I love my car. If you ever want to let go of your car, if you ever, and so I love my car, like I said. And just 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, I came out and there was another card, and I thought, well, somebody's going to try to get my car, and they can't have it. So I turned the card over, and it says, we buy junk cars. Exactly! Your reaction is exact. I was like, excuse me? You have put this on the wrong car. This is not a junk car. Yes, it may have 227,000 miles on it, and 210 of them are mine. And we have traveled across the country, and I got hit one night at 2 in the morning coming home from the club on the 105, and we did a 180, and then a 180 back, and bounced off the center divider, and a 180 again, and it took care of me. I only hurt my finger from holding onto the steering wheel. We buy junk cars. And in that instant I went, how easily are we defined by other people? Do we define ourselves, or do we allow people to define themselves? Because that's what we were talking about last week when I was telling Donna the story, and I went, I could defend my car like that. That is my beautiful car. Now, if somebody would have called me junk, I don't know if I would have been so quick to argue. I would have went. And if you notice, today's title is Ready for Greatness. And I specifically asked Sue, do not punctuate it. Just ready for greatness. Because I know different ones of us, if we say it to ourselves, you're going to say it different ways. Some of us who are confident and look for wonderful things in life and go, ready for greatness. Yes. Some like me, at least up until I was preparing for this lesson, would say, ready for greatness? Well, you can go ahead. I'm okay. If it comes, all right, but if not, I'm fine. And that's where we're getting to today. We've talked about the law of attraction, about visualizing, writing down affirmations, feeling it. And my buddy Larry Omaha sent me something, a link. It's on YouTube, if I can send you the link if you want, but it's a perfect example of, in my mind, the law of attraction. It's Billy Mills. And he was a 10,000 meter runner back in early 1960s. He was preparing for the 1964 Olympics. 10,000 meters, for those of you at that time, is 25 laps around the track. Now, he wanted to win the gold medal in the Tokyo Olympics in 1964. For him to have to actually win the medal, he would have to improve his time 2 minutes. And if you're not a runner, yes, that's a lot. So, on the YouTube, it goes back through his process. He focused 4 years, and he had a running workbook that he would write down, I feel healthy, I am healthy, I am strong, I believe I can win, I believe I can run with the fastest runners in the world, I believe I can beat them in Tokyo. And he said he focused 4 years, and a couple dozen times a day. That's all he did. Because he said, I would have to lower my time by 2 minutes. That means I would have to focus that much more each lap, but I can do it. And jump ahead, they're in the 23rd lap of the race in Tokyo, and the leader, Ron Clark, looks over his shoulder, and here's Billy Mills, hanging with him. And he said, you know, Ron Clark's expression was like, what are you doing here? But so they're running around the track, and everything's going fine, and he's hanging in there, and he's saying his thing, I feel healthy, stride easy, I'm here, I'm good. And Ron Clark, apparently, for whatever reason, you can do this as a runner. By the way, I love talking about running. In that lap, he kind of just put his hand under Billy Mills' arm and just kind of pushed him out of the lane. And Billy Mills almost lost his balance completely. He went out the third lane, came back, caught himself, and some other guy passed him. So he's in third place. And they're going down the backstretch, and he said, you know, I don't know. And he said in his mind at that time, he accepted the fact, I can get third. I tried. But in my mind, he says it another way. Towards the last lap, all of a sudden that voice, to me it's his preparation of the 4 years took over. His 4 years of believing, his 4 years of focus took over, and all of a sudden he started going, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And he started pulling, and he's still in third place, and they're coming around the last corner, and he says, it's funny, the voice in his head started going, I won. I won. And he goes, and he chuckles, and he goes, I'm still in third place. But the last 30 yards, he takes off, and Billy Mills is the gold medal winner for the 64 Tokyo, almost said Toyota. Tokyo Olympics. Which is funny, because he just says, he believed, you relive it in your head, how you want to see it end, and it's considered the greatest upset in long-distance running history. Larry sent me that. I called Larry up and said, Larry, that's my story. This is where our song comes in. This is where the lesson comes in. I said, Larry, that's my story. I haven't told you that, right? About me in 8th grade? No, what? For those of you my age, right, remember we had oval area rugs? And there were a cord, and it was like they were wrapped around, and they just kept wrapping around. Well, I shared a bedroom with my brother. Braided? Braided rugs. Thank you. They were braided rugs. And I shared a bedroom with my two brothers. They had bunk beds. I slept on the rollaway bed next to it. But I'd go to bed early. And I was running the half mile that year. And I never run the half mile that year. But for whatever reason, in 8th grade, I was not familiar with visualization. I did not know about the law of attraction. But every night before I go to bed, I would watch my race. And I loved it. It was 2 laps. I would hang behind the leader. And on that last curve, I would always take off. And I'd win. And I just didn't think anything of it. And first meet of the year, I won. Second meet of the year, I won again. It's becoming like a game. Woo-hoo! This is where the song comes in. My mom, well, you're just getting too big for your britches. Nobody likes a conceited boy. Nobody likes a boy with a big head. And I was so torn because I didn't want to get in trouble. And I went to my older brother, Jack, who was my hero, and he understood me. And I went, Jack, I'm in trouble.